All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It is Charlie here from Writing Shotgun with Charlie. I've got my buddy Matt Mallory, Matt from Meet the Pressers, Matt from PS and Ed, Public Safety and Education, Matt from everywhere else, right?
Mallory Market and
Right, Mallory Unlimited. We have Mallory Unlimited and Cook Limited.
yeah, stop.
So that's
You're not limited. You're
oh,
awesome. You're the
limited
awesome
only,
Charlie Cook. When you
limited
say,
only,
you know that guy that drives people around in their cars, yeah, that's Charlie. Everybody knows
right.
Charlie.
I'm limited only by my imagination.
Hey, you remember that commercial where the little girl, her brother bites her, and she says, "Charlie bit me."
Oh, Charlie bit me. Yes.
As long as nobody says that about you while you're driving them around in your car, you're good.
Right.
You're good.
I'll end up with P Diddy. Right. That'll be bad.
Snap.
Trying to stay relevant,
That
people.
was
Trying to stay
good.
relevant.
That was a good man. That's a good. Clip.
This is I got a fast paced show, man. How you been, man? What's been exciting?
I've been
Peter,
good.
hello.
Oh, I took it off pretty quick. There we go. Say hi to Peter again.
Peter, hello.
What is that?
Good
Is
to
those
see
cigars?
You.
Are those cigars in a cigar box, or is that ammo? That's long ammo. If that's ammo, I think that's cigars.
I can't tell.
His icon. I got my glasses on. I can't tell. That's sad.
I just can't tell. What have you been up to, man? Where have you been?
Oh, geez. So I've been doing some courses here in New York. I just did an NRA basic pistol instructor certification out by Buffalo this past weekend. The weekend before that, I was in Rochester certifying people in the Saber Red pepper spray instructor class. So just
Nice.
Be bopping around. Next month I'll be at the Girl in a Gun conference. I'm teaching some classes there. Wow, those are big rounds. Then he just posted. There you go.
Ooh.
I was like, they're either cigars or big ass rounds. So 6.5 PRC. Nice. Squirrel.
Cool. Right. Girl in a Gun.
What have you been up to? Oh, yes. I'm going Girl in a Gun in Colorado. I'm doing some other courses out there. And then, my training schedule is published. So everybody can stalk me if they like. But yeah, the farm and the rentals and, everything. All the businesses, keeping busy. Eyes open, work. Eyes closed, dream about work. So what about you?
Very cool. Just plugging away at life, man. Gun classes for me have actually slowed down a little bit. They were really good in November, December, January, and some of February, and they've been slowing down. So I'm back to selling feed pictures. I guess is what I'm going to have to do.
Where do we? What's the address for that?
Right.
OnlyCharlie.com.
Oh, only Charlie. That's right. That's right. Only Charlie. All right. So we got Steve checking in, and Gary Gizzard is here as well. Gary, good to see you, bud. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get to it. So I do have something that I'm going to be doing next month. Actually, it's just like 3 weeks away, which is why we're bringing in the people that we have today. I'm going to be emceeing the event for the CNJFO and the Women for Gun Rights in New Jersey, which is going to be April 20th. And let's bring our people in, if we may. The first person we're going to bring in is Theresa Inacker. Theresa is from the Gadsden State. She is the Women for Gun Rights in New Jersey. We're going to bring in Kelly Pidgeon. Kelly Pidgeon is what's happening, Kelly?
Hey, y'all.
Kelly, of course, is Armed and Feminine, and she is the Women for Gun Right in New Jersey. And we're bringing in the gentleman last. We are bringing in Nick Wong, who is with the CNJFO, the Coalition of New Jersey Firearm Owners. Nick, what's happening?
Yeah, just got home from work and popping in on the show.
Hi, Nick.
Awesome.
Good to see you, Nick.
We're glad you guys are all here. So next month is 3 weeks, right? 3 weeks or so, just over 3 weeks, is going to be this event that we're all going to be at, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's start off with Theresa. Tell us what this event is and what's going on.
Hi, so this is our annual fundraiser. We partner together, CNJFO and Women for Gun Rights in New Jersey, and we just give one heck of a fundraiser. People from all over the state, as you know, New Jersey's kind of long and tall from north to south, but people come from all over. And we're just having our annual dinner fundraiser at this gorgeous venue called the Mansion on Main Street in Voorhees, New Jersey. It's a really beautiful wedding venue. There's actually going to be a wedding in the building that night in another room. So it's just absolutely a gorgeous venue. There's an outdoor patio space. and we have dinner. We have speakers, and I'm sure we'll get into that. And we actually have some silent auction items, so we're looking forward to it.
I will add, not only is the place beautiful, but the food is amazing. like, don't be on a diet if you go. It is just, you just can't eat everything that you want. It's just amazing. Just come, even if you don't want to see us, because you don't want to see us, just come for food. It is 5-star, top notch, just fantastic.
So Theresa, you're calling New Jersey long and tall. Does that mean we got to call New York wide and thick?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, so if you drive, for me to even get up to like Gun for Hire, as many of you know, it's a wonderful range in New Jersey. It's about a 2-hour drive from one direction from where I live. So I'm down in the Pine Barrens, and yet there are people that live even an hour or two below that. Can go all the way down to Cape May. So from Cape May all the way up to the top there, it's a several-hour drive. So it's kind of hard gathering the 2A community in a place that's good for everybody. Sometimes the people in the north say, hey, why don't you come up north? And the people in the south ask us to go south. So, but we have this gorgeous venue in Voorhees, New Jersey, which is Camden County, and it's kind of in a central southern western toward Philadelphia. I think a lot of our folks are flying into Philadelphia, and it's going to be a great time. You have a hotel block for those who need to stay overnight, and there's really less than 2 weeks left to get your tickets.
That's awesome.
Very cool. Yeah. So this the Voorhees Township is like closer to Philadelphia than it is to Newark or New York or anything else, right?
Absolutely. It's only like 20 minutes from Philadelphia. So New Jersey is kind of interesting like that. It's easier to fly into Philly than it is for you to go up to Newark or to fly into New York. But it all just depends on where you're going. And in this case, we're in the Philadelphia suburbs here.
Very cool.
This day and age, though, I think I want to drive. Boing.
Right.
I tell you an interesting story. Is right when I was supposed to go to SHOT Shows, when all that stuff happened with Boeing, and I think even Charlie had some issues with planes and flights because of that.
Yeah, I had
issues, but I had a couple flights canceled and rescheduled because of the whole Boeing thing. So that was fun.
I was with a friend of mine. We call him the Bay State King of Glocks, and we were supposed to have like an hour and a half or 2-hour layover in Chicago, and we had about a 5-hour layover. Wow. And then we all got on the plane, and they're like, "Yeah, we're having problems with the plane, so we're gonna have to deplane, transfer all the luggage, transfer all the people, and start over." We're like, "Oh, happy joy!"
I remember that.
Oh, it was bad.
We were missing you, Charlie, but we're glad you made it. We'd be missing you more.
Oh, this is true. Oh, so let's hug it out later, okay?
Sounds good.
I know, right? Excuse me. All right, so Nick, what's been happening with CNJFO? What have you been up to?
We've been, doing a lot of stuff, working, fundraising, etc. We've had recently a pheasant hunt down here in Jersey and Pemberton. Have a hog hunt actually coming up, I believe, this weekend.
Really?
And that one's out in Pennsylvania. But we do a lot of these fundraising type of events because it's part of our tenets. It's education and bringing people into this, the whole firearms community. Something that we do, between the hog hunts, the pheasant hunts, all of our other, youth events, the dinners, fishing trips, etc. So to bring people into it. And we're there. We're all over the place.
That's no. Go ahead, Charlie.
I was going to say the pheasant hunts are a lot of fun. I went to one a couple years ago. You guys had me come down and speak at one, and hang out with Rosie and stuff. And it was a great time. It was a great time. I got to interview Dan Gerdovich, who was the president of CNJFO at the time, and I got some video. I rigged up one of my GoPros on the barrel of my shotgun, so I got video of all the birds that I shot. It was really cool, man. It was a lot of fun.
I used to actually have a head-mounted camera that I would go around with to do that, but I got a little unwieldy after a while. This last one was a little bit interesting in terms of weather. It was pouring rain. Everybody was soaked, but we still brought home some, plenty of birds.
That's cool.
So a fun fact with that, our daughter, we took her out on a pheasant hunt, youth pheasant hunt up here in New York. She was 12 and she's 24 now, so over 10 years ago. And she got a pheasant. She actually, and all the boys, she got a pheasant. None of the boys got a pheasant, actually. And one of the boys almost shot the dog. So yeah, and so she's proud about that. So she ended up working off the shotgun, did babysitting and painting. So the shotgun she used, she actually earned that. So I've got the shotgun in the safe, the double barrel 20 gauge that she used, the Stoger, and then I also obviously got it mounted, so it's actually on the other side of the wall over there. Kind of a neat.
That's very cool. Yeah, the guy that was out with the guy that we were out with the dogs. He's like, listen, you can shoot me, just don't shoot the dog.
Right. Yeah.
Like he'll take a flesh wound, but do not hurt the dog at all.
Now, Nick, you guys have hogs at PA. I mean, we got them up in upstate, but they were in like a preserve and they got out. But
so these are actually farm raised ones, but they're released onto a island. And it's a really like brush filled island. It's hard to see sometimes, and you actually have to hunt them out.
Really? And they don't swim? They don't escape the island?
They won't swim off the island now.
Really? Those would be like floating bacon or something if they swim. So
you do bring home some delicious bacon and some other, plenty of other meat.
Yeah, I would imagine if they're on that island and they're not disturbed, they probably are rooting all over there. Yeah, they when you said hogs in New Jersey, I'm thinking like it was some euphemism for like politicians or something. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's only one. It's only one sheet, not two.
I got that.
All right, I got a fast-paced show here, man.
I'm still blonde. I didn't get it.
And
so David Hogg is HOGG.
Oh, got it.
Oh,
thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
I got it.
I try to. I try to say like when he says to me, "Keep my name out of your mouth."
Right. You try to respect that. I got it. That's cool. So all right, Miss Kellyanne, what has been exciting with you, ma'am?
Wow. Well, New Jersey keeps me hopping. I'm actually the Northeast Regional Director.
Oh.
So I have entire Northeast to look after for Women for Gun Rights. They keep me super busy. I love helping them. They are so dedicated to pushing the cause. Most of the Northeast is oppressed for gun rights, so the girls are usually pretty charged up and always doing something. So it's good to see. We always want to get more people engaged however we can. A lot of people who can't will support us. That's what this event is about, is if you can't get out there and do a lot of this stuff, support the people who are. And so that's where a lot of that support comes in, and we appreciate that. On the A&F side, my season is just starting. So our range is outside. So I've learned to start in April because March is always very unpredictable here. So my classes begin the very first weekend of April, and pretty much April is almost sold out, which is great. And May has started to fill up already. I even have some people signed up for June. So election years seem to be always really good for my business. Last year, can I say sucked on this? Last year sucked.
We're talking about hogs and shooting.
Yeah, hogs and stuff. Keep it out of your mouth. I heard that. But we started out great, but inflation came around, and I think some of that, Charlie, too. Once after Christmas hits and people have all their bills to pay, and then inflation is still crazy. People are really, they have to be real judicious about how they're spending their discretionary dollars, and we tend to think and hope that training should be paramount. But heck, eggs here went to $4 something a dozen, and our gas here is still $3.79 a gallon, and nothing's coming down. So it's a tough call for people. And this was something that our girls in New Jersey are fighting right now. They just did a great email campaign about the permit prices to get a permit in New Jersey. And we bark all the time about how just to exercise a right is incredibly costly. Like no other right costs this much money. And so then it really becomes discriminatory against those of more meager means, or, the single moms who are working 2 jobs, and the prices of all the groceries. And now they've got to pay $400. Is it 400, Teresa? $400 for a FID card? It's something.
They're upgrading everything. I'll pull up exactly what he wants to do. Right now it's $200 for a carry permit, and I believe it was going to go to $400.
Right.
And you have to understand too, there are all these layers upon layers of permits here. So even though you already have a carry permit, you still have to request another permit to purchase a handgun if you want to buy a new handgun. So, and you have to pay for that, and on and on and on, as you can imagine. So I'll research and give you the exact numbers in a second.
So anyway, in the oppressed Northeast, our girls are really working hard, and we could certainly use a lot more support in the echo chamber of more bodies. But there are a lot of people who would like to volunteer. Like, I'll write emails. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go and testify somewhere, but I'll send a pile of emails out. So what I've been doing, in addition to A&F stuff, is really trying to get all the girls a little more organized in their state. I provide the resources they need for whatever they need. So many of them have been to their state houses testifying, email campaigns, Massachusetts, Charlie, you poor people, that giant bill that's coming out that has just everything horrible in it. The girls are pulling their hair out up there. So however I can support them, and if that's with resources, with training, editing any of their written submissions, that's what I do. That's what I do for the girls. So
that is a lot.
I'm like the big what do we want to call it, like steel underwire bra. I'm the supporter of all of them.
Did you get that, Matt? Steel underwire bra. That's Kelly is our steel underwire bra.
I'm the underwire. Nick, I just got something ready for Nick. You don't know it, but I got your box all packed up. Gonna ship out tomorrow, buddy.
Great.
All right.
We're gonna have some stuff that we're gonna be giving away. Yeah, I guess we're gonna call them mystery boxes, I think.
Yeah.
At the event.
Yeah.
And that's one great thing too about this is people, they hear all this stuff and they want to get involved, right? But they don't know how. How do you get involved? How do you help fight for your rights? Come out to an event like this, right? It's a nice dinner. You can bring your spouse, bring some friends. We're going to have some good food. I will actually have some good cigars there. I run a nice little outdoor cigar lounge. We'll have the fire pits going and everything. It's just a nice, relaxing time, and just talk with people and see how you can get involved. And that's, one of the things that we're doing there. We'll have tons of, stuff that's going around. There's going to be some swag flying around, even some of this stuff back here, and want to see people there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you bring up a great point. It's about meeting each other face to face rather than just seeing each other online all the time. We have a very robust community on Facebook, and the Firearms Owner Syndicate, and thousands of people, and we interact with each other, but actually seeing each other face to face, it gives it a whole other level. And some people should walk away feeling inspired. And if you were right before, Kel, the carry permit went to $400 from $200. The purchase, just an FID card, is going to $100 from $50. Purchase permit is going to $50. And so imagine you already have an FID, and you get, you have a handgun permit, you get your handgun permits, you go through the required training, and then you get your carry permit, and then you want to buy another handgun, you have to go and order another handgun permit, right? So, under Bruin, we think this is pretty impermissible. So it's going to be interesting where this goes.
Well, they're trying to price people out. If they can't ban it, and then Bruin says they can't, now they're figuring out ways they can, in New York State, they're all the ammunition things and taking the NRA instructors out of it. They got a bill going forward where they're trying to get all NRA instructors removed from teaching the class here in New York State, which is going to totally tank how many people can take the class to apply, which, the training thing, I don't think, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this. Do you think the training aspect that these states are putting in place, like New York State with the 18 hours and such, do you see, because I haven't seen many cases that are going towards the Supreme Court when it comes to the training aspect of it. I think a lot of those are like, well, everybody should have training, and a lot of people just back off any kind of lawsuits. And I don't think the government should make people do the training. I think people should seek it out. It should be a self-policing thing, if you will. What do you guys think?
We have that. Oh, sorry, Charlie.
No, go right ahead.
Well, in PA, we don't have any required training. That bill has come up over and over and over. There's a difference. As trainers, of course, we all want people to be trained, right, and to be safe. Right. And that's the biggest piece. But when we're talking about your right and voluntary, that's a different story. If you want to keep a gun in your house, fine. If you want to carry it, it's a whole different skill set, right? So training is paramount. But we have a colleague who actually is fairly liberal, but she is also a gun instructor and works with the Liberal Gun Club. And she is an accomplished constitutional lawyer, by the way. And her take actually on required training was, fine, you want to require it, then it has to be free for everybody. It has to be available immediately to them. And if they can't get there, you've got to provide free transportation. And I was like, wow, that came out of her mouth. But she's right, because, all your other rights, you exercise sort of that same way. If you're requiring it, then there should be no obstacles. Like when I do my training courses, right? Just show up. Just show up with your lunch. I'll give you everything you need to have, because I want there to be no barriers to learning. That's my motto, no barriers to learning. So if you want to put all of these other things into place, there should be no barriers to getting the requirements, right? So it could be a good fight. It really could. Bruin, we cheered, right? Teresa, we're like, yay, Bruin is a bit right, Matt. When you can't go after the gun, you have to go at all the accessories and everything else around that to make it, hard. Make it as difficult as you can for somebody not to be able to exercise the right, which is the accessories. It's
Sun Tzu, The Art of War. You just starve them, right? Starve the guns. If you're starving the enemy, starve the guns. If you starve the guns, they can't shoot the guns if they can't get ammunition. So I mean, that's what they're
targeting. I'll ask you, ammunition is covered under arms, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, all these things, the common use, even back from Heller, that just courts have been very abusive lately. That's our current problem. And I think maybe the training issue will be dealt with later on, but there are some other issues that are probably easier fruit to pick right now. Right. And, the sensitive places really is, for us in New Jersey is a huge thing. Same thing in New York, obviously. And they are going to just try every way that they can go about it. So there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of abuse in the system, a lot of abuse in permitting. There's abuse in sensitive places, abuse. We can't have hollow points here, all the things that are in common use. Really, you should be able to just go in court and say, get summary judgment, because this is already, pretty much not really a question of fact anymore. But, of course, the courts are activists and they want to delay. I think a lot of the circuits want to delay so that their hopes are that, that President Biden might have an opportunity to appoint more justices to the court and they can undo Bruin. So I think their only strategy is delay right now. Yeah. And it's abusive. I have a big problem with it. And I don't know what the recourse is. It needs to be figured out.
Can you sue for abusive delay?
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can say that it violates your rights, but I mean, just proving that and getting a court to, agree, this court has done this. It's like asking the fox to watch the hen house. It's just not going to happen. So,
right to a speedy
SCOTUS, you think about it, SCOTUS gave, the courts this real smackdown about how they were abusing Heller, that they weren't applying Heller properly. They were abusing it. They were abusing Heller. They weren't following Heller, and they gave them a real smackdown about it, but they still continue to abuse everything. So yeah, it's tough. It's very frustrating for those of us who really believe in the judiciary, for those of us who really believe that the third branch is supposed to be that firewall against tyranny. They're supposed to be the ones that stop, the unconstitutional action. And when it starts to get eroded, it's very frustrating for those of us who, really kind of have all our eggs in that basket.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
Mm.
So I have, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, part of the fundraising that these guys do, what do we do with all of that money? In addition to provide for travel for the girls to go and have all these meetings, we also use that money to file amicus briefs or amici brief. Which way would it be? Amici brief? Amicus briefs?
I would call it amicus curiae briefs. How I curiae briefs, and
my Latin or Greek, I don't even know which one is a little rusty at the moment.
Yeah.
But sometimes we have organizations that will file them on our behalf for free, and sometimes we have to pay for those, and they're not cheap. And so a lot of the fundraising goes to do that, because when we say we're committed to safeguarding the Second Amendment, you sort of have to make that commitment, and how far are you going to go? And Theresa, tell them what I think our biggest accomplishment so far was with the big case, tell them all, WGR, DC Project. It's Bruin.
Oh yeah.
Bruin.
Oh yeah, with Bruin. So in Justice Alito's concurring opinion, he cited the DC Project amicus brief, and it was just incredible. It was really an incredible moment, and it was really a big deal. So it's worth it. You want to have your voice in there, and especially, for groups that might touch on the topics from like a different angle. I think sometimes the justices are looking for that, because you can have a lot of groups repeating themselves and just walking all over each other, repeating the same arguments. But when you give it from the point of view that, women have this perspective, we're more likely to be, victims of violence. And, we partnered with some other groups as well on that. So it was very exciting. And I think that was a huge accomplishment. And so I think it's worth it to keep doing that. And we were so lucky to partner with GOA on and a brief for the Coons case out of the Third Circuit here. And, we're still waiting for them to do what we need to do. I mean, we're not even halfway there yet, really. There's so much to be done. So
it's so historical. I think, where you can actually look at probably the biggest 2A decision of ever, and our name is in it. Like our name is in it I just think it's fantastic. And so that's why we do all of this fundraising, is to try to make a difference, because it's difficult. It's really difficult when you're beaten down all the time. But those few wins, just, I think, give everybody the stamina to just keep going.
Yeah.
I would say that 1791, the ratification of the Second Amendment, might have been the biggest, but I think it's the second, Kelly.
From the Supreme Court.
Okay, all right, fair enough. That's fair.
In modern times.
There you go, modern times. So, Theresa, have you heard anything about any of the 5 organizations, the 5 lawsuits that were heard in March of last year, and then the 3-judge panel ruled on December 8th? Have you heard of any of those cases appealing the 3-judge panel's ruling?
Are we talking about Coons and Siegel here in New Jersey? Or are you talking about other ones? There's so many. If I knew the names, then I might.
I knew the GOA. I was talking to the attorney of GOA, and he said that they were. I'll be surprised how they move forward with it. So my assumption is that they were going to appeal it, and I think he said they had until like the 7th or the 14th of March to appeal it.
Oh, so I think that might be Antoniuk in New York, and I believe that they did file with the SCOTUS. They're trying to get, you got to go where you got to go, and you got to try to get the help. And we do need the Supreme Court to step in here. The circuits are, they're jerking everybody around. They're really playing a lot of games. It's obvious they're playing games, delay games, and it's not meant to be this way. So hopefully the Supreme Court will step in and clarify some of the things that need to be clarified. There's a lot of argument right now about 1791, or if we're talking about like post, like the Reconstruction period for the analogy for gun law. And so it's going to be interesting. It'd be great maybe if they clarified that a little bit. They gave the circuits a little bit of a smack that they deserve to have for, causing these delays. I think the Fourth Circuit recently did that. They waited forever, and then just said, no, I think we're going to kick it back. We have the same problem here with our assault weapons ban and the magazine limit case that's been pending since 2018. It was granted, vacated, and remanded by the Supreme Court back down to the district court. And it just doesn't need to be there. They could have kind of, it could have been dealt with at, hey, this was filed pre-Bruin. We have Bruin now. Let's do this. And it's just been delayed forever. I mean, forever. It's 2024 and it's been pending since 2018.
Yep.
Wow.
It's ridiculous. So there's oral arguments on that April 10th.
To explain to them super briefly what the Coons case is about, because we partner with GOA in this one.
Yeah, with Coons and Siegel. Coons and Siegel are both cases that are against the sensitive places in New Jersey. They tried to basically paint the entire state, right, as a sensitive place, and they couldn't name one place that we were able to carry outside of our homes. And so it's just been, attacking those things one by one. Judge Bum in the district court, she gave us, a preliminary injunction that, now at least I can drive in my car with my carry. Obviously I have a carry permit and I can go to these places, but you still, Third Circuit kind of backed off some of those places, including places that serve alcohol. I think they backed off on zoos, and there might be parks, I believe. So we have a chart about where you can and can't go. I don't know if people in other states have to go through that too, but we have a little chart just to make sure that you're going about yourself properly. But it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of it. So we'll have to see. We're waiting for the Third Circuit to take some action.
Yeah, we had a county here in upstate that had on the application. One of my students asked, "What am I supposed to put down on this question they're asking?" And I was like, "What does it say?" And the question was, "For what reason do you want a pistol license?" And I was like, "They can't ask that. That's Bruin." June of 2022, Bruin said, "Nope, you can't ask for a proper cause specifically." And so I texted the sheriff, and the sheriff's like, "Oh, we just want to know why they want it." I'm like, "You can't ask that, sheriff. It's illegal." And he goes, "Well, it doesn't affect them getting a license." I'm like, "You can't ask that." and he goes, "That's but that that's what the judge wants." And I'm like, "Okay." And then lo and behold, GOA gets wind of it. Now there's a cease and desist from GOA to that county sheriff's department to remove that, because it's like, you can't do that. You can't ask the question. Period. I don't care why you want to know. You don't need to know. It's none of your business. Just like the social media stuff.
There's so much of that politicians or elected officials pass knowing that it's not even allowed. Like, it drives me crazy. And then we on the other side have to spend so many resources of time, money, you name it, to just prove that we're right. Like, even here in Pittsburgh, like, we have preemption in Pennsylvania, which means no municipality can enact its own gun law, basically, right? Yep. And Pittsburgh says, we don't care, we're going to do it anyway, right? And so they do, full well knowing that it was illegal. And of course, it took time, money, energy, you name it, to fight it. Here it is. And luckily it didn't take too long. And of course the state overturned it. These people do this all the time, knowing that it is clearly illegal. And I'm like, there should be a law against doing something illegal.
And the sad part is they're using our tax dollars to fight us.
Right.
So it's like, we got to take our own money and fight against our own money. It's lunacy.
It's
lunacy.
Exhausting.
I think that what we should do is we should make them personally responsible. If a politician puts a bill forward that turns into a law, and that law is ruled, thrown out and unconstitutional as it goes down the road, they need to pay us all back the money we lost out of their own pocket. That would make a lot of them turn around and say, "You know what? I don't think I want to lose my personal money." But
yeah, for sure. So speaking of money, I've John, a good friend of mine, and a friend of everybody, of course, John Petrolino convinced me that I needed to start the process to get my New Jersey carry permit. So I actually started the process in 22, and this was pretty interesting. I was doing the qualification with a friend of mine that's an NRA instructor, and 3 rounds into it, I had a squib load, which I've never had before. Yeah. And of course, fortunately, I knew what it was. I was more aggravated than nervous or scared. And I had to find a screwdriver and hammer the bullet out of the barrel of my gun. But anyway, fast forward to middle of February, I got on the New Jersey State Police website. I spent the $50 to apply for the license. Then I had to make an appointment to get fingerprinted at an Identigo, which I believe is owned by one of the politicians in New Jersey.
Former Governor Corzine, yeah.
Yeah, there's
Really?
a history of our former Governor Corzine. He owned a share in it when it was another name. It wasn't Identigo then. It was called Sagamorpho or something.
Sagamorpho, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's currently got an interest in this, but there's somebody's making money off of this.
I'm sure he's getting a taste of the action. I'm sure. So it was. Go ahead.
Not only is it like you got to pay the money to do the fingerprints at this only special locations that are mandated by the court by the law or whatever. If you're going to do this out of state, you have to pay extra.
Oh yeah, it cost me $98 to get fingerprinted and have them sent to New Jersey. And 2 weeks afterwards, I still hadn't heard anything. So I wrote to the Jersey State Police. I'm like, hey, I'm just checking to see what's going on with this. I've called Identigo. Identigo said I got an email. Excuse me. I got an email less than 2 weeks ago, and it said we haven't received your fingerprints. So I called Identigo. I actually stopped in at the Identigo, which is part of a chain law tax place. And I went in, I said, hey, I'm just checking on this. And the guy's like, oh, I don't really work here. The lady that does the fingerprints, I don't know. She's not here. I don't know when she comes in. I can't really help you. I'm like, do you have a phone number I could call her? He's like, I got nothing. I'm like, oh, wonderful. So
he got your $98. That's what he got.
Right. So I ended up getting some screenshots and sending this back to the New Jersey State Police because they say you have 90 days to get this cleared up. So I wrote back to them. I said, hey, listen, here's all my information. Here's my receipt from Identigo. I had the fingerprints done in the middle of February. We're in the beginning of March. I'm not sure what's going on. And they wrote back to me and said that I messed up the fingerprint number. And I'm like, I don't think I put the fingerprint number in because I didn't have a fingerprint number when I sent in my application. So the lady here that charged me $98 messed that up. So I'm kind of waiting in turmoil, waiting for that to see what's going on. Then if I wanted to get the carry permit for New Jersey, I've got to drop $275 at Gun for Hire to do the C-Care qualification, and then it's going to be another $200 on top of that. So $200 with $275 plus another $150. What's that, like $6.25? The price of I don't know, 7 high points is what it's going to cost me. I mean, this is ridiculous.
How often do you go to New Jersey? And here's my question: does New Jersey have reciprocity with anybody else?
No.
Oh, are you kidding me? No.
Unless you're there all the time, is that even worth it? Wow.
It's
only for New Jersey, though it does give you reciprocity in other states.
But like what I don't already have, I have, Pennsylvania has a ton of them. I have Utah, so.
Exactly. I've got a Mass Utah and a Pennsylvania permit. So Jersey's only getting me Jersey. And the reason that I'm getting it is because I go down to Jersey and I'll stay with Petrolino and we'll go down and go sporting clays in Pennsylvania or Virginia or something. We'll do all of our fun activity. And I want to make sure I can bring my shotgun with me and I don't have to transfer it to John should we ever get pulled over and not admit that it's my shotgun. So that's really why I'm getting it, to cover my tail when I'm traveling through New Jersey.
So there is a bill that's been in Congress for rights of everybody for transportation alone. I don't know why more pro-gun legislators don't get on board and start co-sponsoring. It has so few co-sponsors. It's not even constitutional carry. It's strictly interstate transport is all that it is. So that would basically kind of cover you because you're traveling through New Jersey to Pennsylvania or to Virginia.
Kind of like LEOSA for law enforcement, that kind of concept.
Right.
I mean,
it's proposed every Congress. It's proposed, and it only gets a few, co-sponsors. I'm like, this is just stupid. But I said to Theresa all the time, she's tired of hearing me say it. Under Bruin, I truly believe that means constitutional carry, because if you have a right to carry a gun outside your home, who's to say that stops at a state line?
Yeah. Where's the border?
And I always say I don't want it to be Pidgeon versus the United States. I don't want to be the one to test that.
Right.
But it might have a nice ring to it. But I think it would be the ultimate test, and somebody, not me, should challenge it. Should get arrested, charged, and let this
change your name to Pidgeon.
I could see the banner now. It's a pigeon bringing justice across the country, delivering justice.
A homing pigeon. A homing.
The homing pigeon.
Got it. That's what I thought when you said that. Pigeon against the United States.
There we go.
At this point, so many people are so annoyed and pissed off at all these restrictions and everything. Yeah. Some people are just saying, "Forget about it. I'm just going to, conceal it's concealed."
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's tough. So one of the things I'm sure you guys have heard about this, and staying with the whole, the Bruen decision and Bruen giving us constitutional carry. There's the case in Chicago where an illegal alien had a gun that fired, didn't have a criminal record because he doesn't have a record because he's here illegally, but doesn't have a FOID card in Illinois, so he got the gun illegally. And the pictures I've seen pictures of him shooting in a street. But it said that even though he's here illegally, he has the right to keep and bear arms. And I don't really have an issue with that per se, but it says that he's just protecting his family in the summer of 2020 is when he got this, and he wants to be able to protect his family and protect himself. And I'm like, dude, I totally get it. If that guy is able to keep his gun, that he came into the country illegally and he has a gun illegally, then why are we worried in occupied territory states? Why are we worried about assault weapon bans and high cap magazines and all this other nonsense that we have to deal with? Why are we worried about this at all if someone that is not here legally has the right to be able to keep and bear arms, and he can buy a gun illegally and possess it illegally? Why are we concerned about any of this nonsense?
It's because the rights of the illegals apparently are trumping the rights of the actual citizens.
I was going to say, because we're not illegal. That's what we got to worry about.
Right.
I told my wife
they pander to our vote because they try to get to the ones that they can try to bring in to vote for them.
Every day my wife tells me a new story, and I'm like, I'm just going to go down to Mexico, come back and say, hey, I'm no habla inglés.
Right. When you're filling out the 447 and 3 and it says, have you ever renounced your citizenship? You're like, have I ever done it? Have I ever done it sober and seriously? No. But plenty of other times. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we actually had this discussion. Theresa has a very interesting viewpoint. And like we said, like if you're a person, like there's a difference between the people of the country and the citizens of the country, right? So therein lies some difference. And if he has the right to protect himself under Bruen, great. But he still didn't have a FOID card in Illinois. That's my big issue.
Yep.
Is, those people who have a FOID card in Illinois, they've got to go through their 16 hours of training. They've got to pay all of their money. They get a background check process of the year. They do a background check on all those people. That's my issue, is that everyone else has to go through this, not necessarily that he wanted to protect his family. Good for him. Go ahead. I'm glad he is. He's in Chicago, for God's sakes. He should. Yeah. But he is not held to the same standard as the people who went through all of the hoops and chains to get to do it by the books. That's my argument. Teresa's argument's a little different.
And if you and real quick, Theresa, in a second here with this one, this message that came in, right? Hang on, Charlie. Let me put this one up. So
sorry.
We're fighting each other. So if you believe in shall not be infringed, I do, for the citizens. I mean, I've got it right there behind me, right? So if you're here illegally, you're not a citizen of this country. You're not somebody who's come in the legal path. You're taking up resources. You're taking up positions and jobs and whatnot. So defend yourself, but legally. I mean, if we're made to go through all this, how are legal people getting around it?
That's my point. So my attitude is, if that person gets to break laws, what laws do I get to break? Because let's make this real. Let's make it even. Like, it's not fair. And I sound like my, kids when they were teenagers. Dad, it's not fair. But it's not fair that somebody else can break laws for whatever reason, and I have to follow these laws. If we're not going to break laws, then let's break laws.
Cook versus the United States.
Oh, here we go. I can't believe me. I can't afford that. I can't afford the Jersey permit. I can't afford a court case. Are you kidding me?
All right, Theresa has a good take on this. Give them yours real
Go ahead,
quick, and then we'll go back to the fundraiser.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm actually for the expansion of 2A rights, and, our rights pre-exist even the Second Amendment. So, there are certain rights that non-citizens are still benefiting from. And I think that the Second Amendment isn't the way, and it shouldn't be the method that's used to try to enforce immigration law. I think immigration law needs to be enforced.
Mm-hmm.
It does, but I don't think the Second Amendment is really the way to go about that. And I understand people are kind of like just mingling these things together. I don't think that, people who come to this country, who immigrate here, that they should have rights that are superior to ours. But I also think that if you're making the argument that there should be some kind of gun control for them, then really it's no different than what Moms Demand says that we should be under gun control as well. So I don't think it can make a consistent argument that you're against gun control, you're against universal background checks, because we know they're not universal, that criminals don't abide by them. We already know, like this guy, he's going to get his firearm anyway, shooting in the street, however he obtained it. We understand that, by trying to insist that they follow the same laws that they're trying to push on us, that they're not all following them anyway. So, they can't have it both ways. The gun control people really can't have it both ways. I understand they want to expand the rights so that these people can vote. I think it's more or less trying to kind of a roundabout way of getting an expansion of their right to vote. I think that they're trying to use the Second Amendment to, I don't know, they're manipulating it basically for political reasons. I don't think we should take the bait on it. And I just, I don't know. I'm a little bit more of an absolutist that way.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I love it. I love it. This is awesome. All right, listen, we as Kelly said, we do need to talk about the event in New Jersey on April 20th down in the Voorhees Township. Who else is going to be there besides all of us? Who else is going to be there?
Well, the name came up just a little earlier. The man himself, Dick Heller, will be there.
Nice.
And, it's going to be exciting to meet him. I actually haven't met him yet because I've been so busy with everything, but I know he's come up for some events. So I'm looking forward to meeting him. Another person that I've met before at SHOT Show and has come up here in New Jersey, Gabby Franco. And then let's see, who else do we have, Theresa? I think we have a couple others. I'm blanking.
Lucretia Hughes is coming up as well from down south. And she has a very poignant story about losing her son to gang violence. And we are also having a Rabbi Andy Mars from North Jersey. He is coming to speak as well. I believe he's going to address the impacts of, on the Jewish community after their attacks October 7th. So going to be very interesting.
And I would just say, if anybody who's listening has enjoyed this type of bannering that we have had going back and forth, this is what you get to talk about too when you come here. You've got a lot of really good-minded people here with a lot of what I would say. We've got great knowledge bases. We've got very opinionated people. So, like, the night can just fly, and you can have great conversation about a number of 2A issues here, in addition to great food. So all of this kind of conversation takes place and good prizes. I was mentioning that I have a big box going out to Nick. So New Jersey has very strict gaming laws. And so we can't really do raffles or anything like that. So most of the things need to be a silent auction. And so there will be a number of certificates for big prizes. Right, big prizes.
Right.
So,
there's you need to be a valid FID card holder to participate in the silent auction.
Correct. So some of those are provided by WGR, and CNJFO will have some of their own things. So CNJFO has their own few things. We have our own few things, and together we share a number of things. So we will split those proceeds so that each organization can continue to, just keep pounding forward in support of 2A issues. But the mystery boxes, which are really great. So just come and figure out the mystery boxes. So I have a whole pile of stuff heading over to Nick that we are going to box up, and you don't know what's in it. So we will guarantee you that it will be nice stuff. And you might just have a FID card for some of them. We don't know. So there'll be a variety of some mystery boxes too, with the low number and its estimated retail value. So I think people will just be sort of pleasantly surprised when they open their box and figure out what they have won. So,
and you see all the swag here behind me. I'll go to the SHOT Show, but specifically to get stuff for events like these. Some of it might be thrown in there. Just saying.
We're giving away patches too. Everybody who comes is going to have a little favor of, our patches, pens, usual kind of swag things. So,
nice.
It'll be a good time.
If you haven't been to one of the diversity shoots that Tony Simon does, Nick is like his own traveling cigar lounge. He's got chairs. He's got a space heater. He's got all the stuff, like all the stuff.
It's awesome.
Like tailgating.
So, yeah, it's total tailgating with the with the cigars hanging out. It's great. Last time, a couple weeks, about a month ago, I guess it was, I was down at the Gun for Hire range at the diversity shoot, and Nick, like as soon as everything's done and everyone leaves, like we all hang out outside. Nick pulls out a space heater. We sit in chairs. We sit around. Smoke. Yeah. Nick smoked like 7 cigars, I think. I don't know how this guy smokes these things so fast. Holy moly, dude.
It was only 2, but still.
There's only 2. All right.
He's counting. But
it's great, man. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
And there will be a cigar lounge at the event. So if you want some good cigars, I only smoke good cigars.
With space.
There we are.
Life is short.
Yeah, there's a fire pit out there. So it's a beautiful, gorgeous, outdoor patio.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Have a cigar, have some nice scotch or whiskey or bourbon, whatever you like. And
hey, do we have we don't have a dress code for the event, right? It's just sort of come as you are, but it's a fancy place.
Yeah, it's business casual. That's what we tell people, because there's a wedding going on there as well. So we really don't, it's not like a hat and shorts kind of place, in my opinion. It's definitely much more.
Right.
I mean, it's a Saturday evening as well. It starts at 7. So I think, that also kind of elevates, it's a nice place, definitely.
It's going to be
we're
awesome.
going to have a DJ there as well. And Charlie's going to be our MC, and we're so grateful. Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm honored. I've been binge watching The Sopranos just to try to work my accent down. So
Make my day, punk.
Oh, we have a photographer coming too. Don't we have a photographer coming?
I think we do. Yeah.
We do.
I think,
Yes.
Yeah.
It should be we're going to have a photo booth, I believe, with a combined CNJFO and Women for Gun Rights backdrop.
Yep.
We did that last year. Unfortunately, had to update the banner.
Slab Guns does not like dress code. Just business. I guess Camo might like dress camo.
No.
Slab would show up in a tracksuit. That's his thing. We have our tracksuit things that we go around with at SHOT Show and in the videos that I help them out with.
Nice. All right. Well, listen, before we have everyone plug their stuff, we are going to do a giveaway, which I know we completely forgot to mention. But it's been running at the bottom of the banner. So I'm going to say it's probably too late to enter, but you do need to go to 2 minutes. All right. I'm going to
shut it off in 2 minutes.
We got 2 and 2, Chuck Willery. All right. Go to meetthepressers.com/giveaway and enter in CNJFO as the code, and you'll be entered to win either a Mantis X10 or one of the CERT pistols that we have. So it's great to have Next Level Training and Mantis on as sponsors for the Matt and Charlie show here. So please make sure you guys get a chance to do that. All right, let's we got 1 minute left. What can we talk about for 1 minute?
Only one?
Oh, nothing. I love this.
Well, you only have, I don't know, less than 2 weeks to get tickets for our event. You have to go to cnjfo.com/events and you'll find the ticket link there.
Mm-hmm. We
And
also have it on the WGR website. If you go to womenforgunrights.org and click the shop tab, you will see it says New Jersey Mansion event. You can click it and there's a link right to the tickets as well.
Nice.
So.
Gotcha.
And if anybody's interested in joining the Women for Gun Rights in New Jersey, you can join up on the website and say that you are interested in participating.
Vanna.
So hey, with the old DC Project swag, is this now collector item stuff?
Oh, that's a good point.
That's a very good point. Well, I will say this. DC Project Foundation still is our legal name.
Okay.
So
all right.
It had always been like DC Project Foundation Women for Gun Rights, right? It was like, bleh. But when you just truncated the formal name DC Project, like no one knew what that was. Like this is just like totally the coolest logo of ever, I think. This lady head, but you can't really tell what it was. Like your logo or your name should say what you do, right?
Right.
So we just sort of truncated the front part for branding to just use the back part, Women for Gun Rights. But so the website, if you have an old shirt and it says dcproject.info, that's not going to work. It may, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Pick around the website. But legally it's still the same. So it could be collector's items. You never know.
Nice.
But we're going to have some
find out.
fantastic raffles coming up. Do I have a minute left? We have serious big raffles coming up. Sig Sauer is doing a few packages for us this year. Ooh, baby, our first package coming out is going to be a rose package. I don't know if you as boys follow along, but the women are crazy for this gun.
Mm-hmm.
And Sig has put together a fantastic package that not only includes the rose in the whole package, but rose swag that goes along with it, ammunition, eyes, ears, like everything. So that'll be
the rose glasses right there.
Huh?
These are just
rose colored glasses. But there it is. So
Nice.
that's going to be our very first one that we do with them, and so we look forward to launching that in the next month. They've always been a really good partner of ours, as has been Walther and Mossberg and Ruger, year after year after year. So we greatly appreciate that. Sim will also have a Daniel Defense is doing a big raffle for us. Staccato is going to be doing a big raffle for us too. So we're excited. We're excited to what this election year will bring, and new toys and prizes and sponsors, and just help us to keep moving on. Because the busiest people stay the busiest.
Yes,
right?
they do. They do. All right, Matt, do you have a number range for us, sir?
I do. So let's have Theresa give me a number from 2 to 19.
That's all we had, 19.
16.
18, actually. 16.
You chose that because of your daughter's age, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I'm so predictable, right?
That's Jeannie Denison. Denston. How do you say it, Charlie? I always say it wrong. Look at that. Steve just posted.
I can't say Jeannie, so
All right, Jeannie, you're the winner. Jeannie's won before, hasn't she?
I don't know, but Steve Denston just typed something there.
Steve
Are they
Denston.
related?
I think they're related. Tony Simons just chimed in. Tony, we may have brought you up. Tony has a small shirt.
Yeah, Tony has a 3X. It's a little small.
That's shirt he had. All right, and then let's have Nick. Give me a number between 2 and 19 without saying 16.
I'll go with 9.
9.
That's my daughter's age, so.
Shirley.
This is the same way. It's the same thing.
Shirley Wattrell.
Shirley!
Very cool. Congratulations, Shirley. She's great. She's a lot of fun.
She's Miss Florida.
What I'll do is I'll reach out to both of them, see which one wants which, because we have both. They're about the same price, and then that way, if somebody already has a cert, then the Mantis might be better for them. We'll kind of see. So
great.
Well, Steve, if you want to come meet Matt, he's going to be at the fundraiser. So there you go.
Well, Steve met me. He didn't meet Charlie.
He hasn't met me. I'll be at the fundraiser.
Yeah, there you go. Go to the fundraiser.
I'll be there. Come on
I'll
down,
be
man.
there.
And bring your missus, obviously.
And brings Charlie some maple syrup because they have phenomenal maple syrup.
Oh, yeah. That would be great.
Jeannie's awesome. Typing in all caps. She's very happy.
She's very excited. Very excited. Awesome. Well, listen, let's have everyone plug where they're at. Nick, how can people find you, sir? And all of the stuff.
Find me. My personal Instagram, everything is at Cardshark, KRDSHRK. I'm board member of CNJFO, so CNJFO.com. See us there. Also help out with the New Jersey gun forums, so at njgunforums.com. Slav Guns is another YouTube channel I help out with, and I'm everywhere.
Sweet.
All right, very cool. Kellyanne.
So this part of me, womenforgunrights.org. Anything you contact us, I will get a copy of that. Everything else is Armed and Feminine on all the socials and armedandfeminine.com. And I really suck at social media. Kind of suck. My Facebook page, I try to keep. I'm active. That kind of dates me. I hop over to Instagram maybe once every 4 days just to see if my daughter sent me a recipe. But that's about it. And my YouTube channel, I just let go. It just sort of
too busy doing everything else.
I know. Well, I was thinking it was going to get lighter on a lighter note, not lighter note, but heavy note. I took care of my mom for many years, and she just kept declining. The number of hours that it was taking me to care for her just kept growing. And so between as much as I worked doing this and my own stuff and taking care of her, I was just not able to keep up my channel and make content, and I was just sort of sucked. And so I want to say finally, she's placed now in assisted living. So my time is freed up a little bit more from that. So who's to say the weather is nice? I might get excited to do it again. Never know. Family first.
For sure.
Of course. All right. And last but not least, Theresa Inacker.
Hi. So I'm a board member of CNJFO also along with Nick. So you can find me at CNJFO. I'm the New Jersey State Director for Women for Gun Rights. You can reach out on womenforgunrights.org and then click that you're interested and you live in New Jersey and you might want to get in touch with us. And I'm on Instagram, Theresa Inacker. I'm on Twitter, Theresa Inacker. I'm out on Facebook too. So look forward to seeing you out there.
Super.
All right, very cool. So, Steve, if you're looking to get involved.
Oh, but Gun Rights New Jersey has their own Instagram page and their own Facebook page.
We do. Yes, we do. You can follow our group there as well. Yes.
Very cool. All right. So you need to go to Women for Gun Rights, Steve, to get yourself involved with the Women for Gun Rights in Wisconsin, which is behind the Cheddar Curtain. All right. If you have not subscribed to either the Meet the Pressers or the Riding Shotgun with Charlie YouTube channel, please make sure you do
waiting for?
Hit the notification bell so you know when we're doing shows next, because we're working on a couple more shows. We're working on some more guests. You'll get the notifications. Obviously, you need to follow us on all of our social media because we put out the links when we have shows. So that is how you guys need to find out the next time we're doing a show. We thank you guys all for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys being here. Nick and Kelly and Theresa, thank you guys all for hopping on. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you very much.
See you in 3 weeks.
Stay safe.
See you there with a cigar.